Ooh, I look terrible. That's a bit of fun. Greetings and salutations. I have been listening to the Lightning Thief musical on repeat again lately because realistically, when do I not? But I think with all the anticipation of the new series, I've gotten very paranoid that people are going to forget about the musical because I genuinely think it is a perfect adaptation and it is like my favorite musical of all time along with Rent. I just want to remind people of it, and I thought what could be fun today was to just rank every song from the musical into a tier ranking system. The thing is though, I don't have a laptop at the moment, so how most people do this on like that tier maker website, I've instead gone and made a canvas and printed out photos that represent each song to me and made some tiers on here, and everything probably won't fit on here, but it's fine. So the tiers I've made were I worship these songs like people worshipped the Greek gods. That's the top tier. These songs absolutely changed my life and I want lyrics from them tattooed on my body forever because they mean that much to me. Then I had only just then jumped to makes me cry enough tears to fill the river Styx, but I realized that there are some songs I love that I want to rank high that don't make me cry. So I've then added in my own handwriting rather than printing it out and being cool, Bop's worthy of Apollo himself. Down here we have not my favorite, but I'd sing along at the campfire. And then down here we have send these songs to Tartarus for their crimes against my ears. Thank you. Let's begin. So first up we have Prologue, The Day I Got Expelled, with a little look I didn't want to be a half-blood. I love this song a lot. I do actually miss the original intro to it from like original version of this show. Pre 1 hour theater work show, they're like, better listen up, better heed a warning, or don't say if we care, but just so you're aware, you might be dead by morning. Yeah, go on. Loved this musical for a long time. But I still love this. The outro to this is one of my absolute favorite parts of the show, and it got cut when it went to Broadway and I think on tour as well, where they're like, Percy Jackson, oh, like Percy riffing while Mrs. Dodds calls for him. Also one of my favorite moments, Chris sliding in and going, look, I didn't want to be a half-blood. Absolutely iconic. So Bop's worthy of Apollo himself. We're not fitting every song on here, shit. Then we have Strong. I love this song a lot. I listen to it sometimes when I'm very sad and pretend that Sally is singing to me. I love the motifs of it. I love that they included blue food. The stories of Chris panicking because he's trying to chew that fucking blue marshmallow quick enough make me laugh. Every time I listen to this song, whether I'm watching the bootleg or I'm just listening to the soundtrack, I sing it to my cat Percy because it's very fun for me to sing a song that is sung by Sally Jackson, like a mother, to my son, my cat, Percy Catson. It means a lot to me. I'm gonna say it makes me cry enough tears to fill the river Styx. The Minotaur. I have split up the Minotaur and Weirdest Dream because they are technically the same song, but I rank them differently. So the Minotaur itself, I actually don't like listening to. I'm so sorry. I feel bad ranking anything down here, but I feel like I have to put some things low, so it's going into put it into Tartarus for its crime against my ears. It's very fun on stage, but just listening to the soundtrack, I feel weird listening to it because it's a fight scene and it feels odd just like having people scream, and like sometimes it'll come on shuffle when I'm in the shower and I'll be like, this is a bit of a vibe killer, I'm not gonna lie. The Weirdest Dream, however, has the god tier moments of it's a seashell, like I said, weird. Also, oh look, a strange man in a Hawaiian shirt. Also, is she real? She's floating close to me. It has Percy High singing about how beautiful Annabeth is, and then her saying, you drool and you sleep. Absolutely god tier. Does it make me cry or is it a bop? I'd say it's a bop. Bop's worthy of Apollo himself. Another Terrible Day. No thoughts. Absolutely a bop worthy of Apollo himself. It's such a perfect representation of Mr. D. I remember when I made that video where I was showing my friends who had read the books the musical for the first time, immediately the song starts and they both go, Mr. D! Like they just knew it. It's a really cool song. It's very rock and roll. I love it a lot. The little interludes with the campers are so funny and such great explorations of those characters too. Hi, editing Ashlee here. I can't believe I didn't mention like my favorite moment from Another Terrible Day, which is Mr. Brenner, you're a horse. What is, you can hate it here, but I hated it first. Absolute best part of the song. Wanting to give a shout out to it. Can't believe I didn't when I was filming. What is wrong with me? Their sign. I couldn't find a photo from this song, so I just have a photo of James. This isn't my favorite song. It's one that is like a skip for me. I like it. I love the introduction that we get to Luke Castellan. I love that immediately, even in this song, you can hear Luke's manipulation of Percy. You can hear the way that he specifically kind of pits the demigods versus their parents in this and kind of implies that, oh yeah, your parents don't care about you, even while trying to be nice and friendly. I think it's such a perfect example of Luke's character, especially in The Lightning Thief, and the way that he's trying to manipulate these young demigods into doing his bidding and getting onto his side in the war. I also love Percy's little angsty outbreak about how his father was never there. However, it's not my favorite and I have to try and be brutal and put some songs low, but we're gonna say not my fave, but I'd sing along at the campfire because I absolutely would. Now, put you in your place. Gay anthem. I love the introduction of Clarice's character. I love the fight choreography when you see it on stage. I love this is the first time we hear like Annabeth sing. It's a great introduction to kind of understanding her more and why she's so passionate in battle. I love that. I love that we include the toilet exploding. I think it's such a great place in the show for it. This was the first song I heard from this musical back in 2013, so I have a lot of nostalgia for it as well. I love the cheering from other campers. I love this song so much. Absolutely a bop worthy of Apollo himself. The campfire song. This song actually makes me cry. It's one of my favorites, but not quite in this top tier yet. But absolutely, this song makes me sob, so it makes me cry enough tears to fill the river Styx. This song isn't necessarily sad, like it's quite wholesome in some ways, but the way that Annabeth talks about her family, even though she's making a joke of it, breaks my heart. I really identify with her and with her family situation, obviously, so that makes me really upset. The way that Percy calls her out on that and is like, wait, is that true? Let's not make a joke of this. I love the way that Luke talks about everyone, oh no, the Minotaur's fallen. I mean, the way that Percy talks about Sally makes me sob. The way that everyone cheers on again, just when Percy's like, oh, actually, I hate my dad, and everyone's like, yeah, go Percy. That's very funny to me. I love it a lot. And then Luke singing, I don't care where our parents may be, as long as you are here with me. That makes me fucking cry because it's Luke. And I know that Annabeth is hearing that and internalizing it. And then the repeat of, we don't care where our parents may be. Luke singing that makes me so emotional. Oracle, not my favorite, but I'd sing along at the campfire. I don't have really strong feelings about this song. It's kind of a bop. I don't have an emotional attachment to it. You know, it is what it is. Good Kid. I don't know if I want to put Good Kid and I Worship these songs like people worship the Greek gods, or if I want to put it in Makes Me Cry Enough Tears to Fill the River Styx. I think we might be putting Good Kid up here. Good Kid is not only a song I really relate to. I was kind of a smart ass in school and book smart, and I was an Athena kid, and I identify a lot with my grand plan as well, and we'll get into that. But I never felt good enough for the people around me. But I was constantly trying to be good enough for people around me. And this is something that I still feel, but especially when I was younger, Good Kid just really tapped into something very, very close to my heart. And I think Good Kid is such a perfect example of Percy's character. I talk a lot about how I find it very impressive that the Lightning Thief musical managed to portray Percy's character in all three dimensions in its entire complexity in 3 minutes when the movies couldn't do it in like fucking 4 hours. But I mean that Good Kid is such a perfect song for Percy, and I do cry every single time I listen to it, both because I relate to it and because it's so touching when you care about a character as much as I care about Percy. You know, he's one of my biggest comfort characters of all time. He is the character, along with Spider-Man, that taught me what it means to be a hero. And so hearing him have so much self-doubt and lack of self-worth, and particularly the ending of like hearing him sing and bell I'm good enough for someone while the ensemble who is representing his thoughts sings back 6 schools in 6 years, because that's what he tells himself means that he isn't good enough for anyone because he's been through 6 schools in 6 years. It just makes me very emotional, and that song means a lot to me and I love it a lot. Killer Quest, absolutely a bop worthy of Apollo himself. Don't even have to think about this. Killer Quest is one of my favorite songs in the show. It's pure serotonin. Like, I cannot listen to it and not dance around and smile and have a good time. It's the first time we hear Annabeth say seaweed brain in the show. It's so much fun. I love that you have those little moments, even with just Kyron and Clarice when they're about to head off on the quest. It has my least favorite lyric in the show, which is, so we're half-bloods, not gods, but demi. Won't go halfway, it's all not semi. I hate that lyric. I don't think it's very good, but besides that, this song is so much fucking fun. I cry every time I listen to it now, because when Annabeth goes 5 long years stuck at camp, I think about how Kristen on closing night on Broadway sang 6 long years stuck at camp because she had been playing Annabeth for 6 years. Tears. And that's Act 1. Lust. Also one of my favorite songs from the show. I remember when the cast recording first came out, I went and saw a movie with a friend, and when we were waiting for our parents to pick us up, because, you know, we were not old enough to drive at the time, I was telling her about the musical and I kept talking about Lost. It was one of my immediate favorite songs from the show. I think it's so funny. I still think it's really funny. It's so accurate in, we're lost, we're just kids, we're alone, this is impossible. Who put the fate of the world in the hands of 3 unprepared, scared, this is crazy. I like that it's the first time we hear Annabeth say that she trusts Percy, and Grover implying that as well. You really get those motifs in that song of both camp being Annabeth's home, Grover just wanting to protect his friends, Annabeth wanting to be remembered, Percy, like you get that motif that you hear kind of so much throughout the musical and in the deleted scenes from the musical. Love that you have the squirrel there. Don't know why they changed it from a poodle to a squirrel, but I'm happy that we have it. This song made my mum laugh out loud when I first played the soundtrack for it. Again, this was the song that I first was quoting to my friend when telling her about the musical, even though she truly did not give a fuck. My grand plan. We obviously have to put this in. I worship these songs that people worship the Greek gods, because I honestly do. My grand plan is one of the most relatable songs ever written, not just in this musical, not in any musicals, but ever for me. It's up there with like The Archer and Mad Woman and 10 Minute All Too Well and Dear John for me. It means so much to me. I was debating for years whether or not I wanted a lyric from this or Bring on the Monsters tattooed on my body forever. I can't even really explain the connection I feel to this song. It just makes me feel incredibly seen. Obviously, Annabeth's character makes me feel incredibly seen. But yeah, there's something about this song that feels very personal to me. It feels like this song was plucked out of my brain or out of my diary. It's also obviously a perfect representation of Annabeth's character, especially in The Lightning Thief. Drive! This is above worthy of Apollo. This is where I'm putting most songs and they're falling apart. It's fine. Drive is a lot of fun. I love all the book references. It's one that I sing with my friend all the time. I have very good memories of it. I want to go on the road trip from The Lightning Thief and just listen to the song on repeat someday. The Weirdest Dream reprise. Not my favorite song, but I think it's very clever. I like that you see, like, you can really appreciate the double casting of Ares and Luke. It's creepy, and so we're gonna put it in I'd Sing Along at the Campfire. Now we have Tree in the Hill, and I couldn't find a photo for this, so I literally printed a photo of Talia turning into the tree from the Sea Monsters movie. This makes me cry enough tears to feel the river Styx. Whether it's on stage or listening to the cast recording, I'm sobbing. I'm just sobbing. This song is so beautiful and so perfect for Grover, and the guilt that he holds just makes me absolutely, like, it really does make me sob. Like, I can't, the goosebumps that I, even just thinking of it, and maybe if I'd been a little bit braver, like, I cannot listen to it without crying, no matter how many times I hear it. It's so gorgeous. It's so gorgeous. Yeah, it really does make me cry enough tears to feel the river Styx. I'm not exaggerating. DLA. Actually, one of my favorite moments in the show. A lot of my friends and family's favorite song from the show. An absolute bop. Shout out to Charon for being an icon. And DJ Cerberus. Shout out to DJ Cerberus. Son of Poseidon. I cannot listen to this song without crying my eyes out. So it's going, makes me cry enough tears to feel the river Styx. Specifically the part that really, really gets me, and I'm not going to be able to sing it without crying, is well, he'll have to get through me. We'll take him down, we work well in 3. Plus a half goat with a great goatee. Let's do this. So this may be the end, but I ain't sad. 'Cause you're the two best friends this screw up ever had. In my Snapchat memories, there's a video of me just like lip syncing and crying to that part like a month after the album had first come out, sending it to my friend being like, this still affects me this much, I'm still sobbing. This song is so emotional, and like it makes me so happy. And like, you think the God of War is afraid of a little water? How do you feel about a lot of it? It's such a bad comeback. It makes me so happy. Face the tide, doop doop inside of me. If I ever saw this musical live, if I ever actually got the honor of seeing it, the amount that I would cry during that, when I watched the bootleg, oh my god, the amount that I cried. It's not okay. It's excessive. It's embarrassing. It's fine. Last day of summer. Makes me cry enough tears to feel the river Styx for 2 things. One is very obvious. The first is I tried once. My dad couldn't deal with the monster attacks and my stepmom couldn't deal with me. It's just asking for trouble. Sometimes family's worth the trouble. Believe me. I guess we both have a choice to make. Seaweed brain. That makes me cry. There's just something about this song that inherently makes me emotional. Even just that, this means to you, Perry Johansson. It's Percy Jackson. Something about that. I don't know. There's just something about the song that feels very, very book accurate, which makes me emotional. But then, obviously, one of my favorite moments from the whole show, Luke's Good Kid reprise. The fact that it's a Good Kid reprise is driving home the similarities between Luke and Percy, which I think is really important and a beautiful, very important theme of the books that doesn't really get talked about enough. My instinct is just, I want to talk about how that affects Annabeth as a character, but I'm not going to. We get it, you send Annabeth, chase Ashlee. The lyrics in it make me cry. This honestly made me empathize with Luke Castellan more than the entire book series did. It's so powerful. He promised me the power to defeat our parents. Yeah, he's using you to get back at the gods. Good. the way that he yells good, like you can hear the emotion. I've been here since I was a kid. I did everything they ever asked. Yeah, I did. And for what? The way that he sings it, he sounds like a kid. And I think that's really important. And then the way that he throws Percy's own words back in his face when he does the reprise, and where it drives home the similarities but the differences in their moralities, and the way that like, there'll be no gods at all. And then it ends with Annabeth running in being like, Luke, what are you doing? Well, we promised. It makes me really emotional. It really does. Also, I get goosebumps every single fucking time. Now, Bring on the Monsters. I worship these songs like people worship the Greek gods. I settled on getting just the words Bring on the Monsters tattooed on me someday. I would like to someday be able to ask Kristen Stokes to handwrite it for me so I can look at Percy's attacking me. Look at this. Look at this. He's like, you're mentioning my songs and not showing me. Anger. Otherwise, Ashlee, who runs the Lightning Thief Musical's social media account, did suggest the font that Rob wrote the sheet music in to get it tattooed in that font as well, which is my backup. This song, to me, captures what all of the books feel like, the meaning of all of them, and it captures what they feel like to me. And that's why this is ultimately what I landed on the tattoo for, because my grand plan, the lyrics that I wanted to get tattooed were the lyrics that meant the most to me, but those are like kind of sad in a way. Bring on the Monsters felt more hopeful in its nature, and so that's what I ended up going with. Not to overshare, as I always do, especially when I was in high school, but still sometimes, when I got really suicidal, or I really didn't want to be here anymore, or I was just really depressed, I would put on this song, and I would really, really get into the, and I'll be back next summer, you'll see me again. I'll be back next summer, I'll survive till then. And I would really make that apply to my life. And I've talked about how I connect with Annabeth fighting literal monsters with me kind of fighting the monsters in my brain and my mental health and like the long-term effects of being abused and all of that. I connect physical monsters for fictional characters with my internal monsters, I guess. So the Bring on the Monsters, bring on the real world. I don't know, it really makes me feel connected to these kids fighting a literal war in the way that I fight the war in my head. And this song represents that and represents how the books mean that to me and just everything that the books mean to me. There's so many beautiful moments in this song. I cry every time the Bring on the Monsters melody changes into the My Game Plan melody and Annabeth's part in the last chorus. I just love Bring on the Monsters a lot. So here's my final ranking though. Anyway, thank you guys for chilling and ranking the songs with me. Comment your rankings down below or your favorite songs down below. I love talking about this musical and I want people to remember this musical even as the new series comes out. Chat to me about it if you want. I would like that. Thank you guys for watching. I love you very much. If you want to follow me on other social media, you can. You can follow me on TikTok. I do cosplay and I do live streams where I read the Percy Jackson books recently. If anyone wants to hang out and join me for those, I have a Patreon where you can see cosplay photos and get bonus videos if you want to support me on there, or I have Instagram where I post cosplay photos. All of the links will be in the description. I love you very much. I will see you very soon. Thank you for watching. Mwah!